Ecowas, Mali, Niger Republic, and Burkina Faso's exit sparks security concern in Nigeria. Hey, so what kind of security concern is it sparking in Nigeria now? Is it that the Northerners will start aligning with these people and a lot of things will begin to happen across the border? Or I don't know how this is sparking security concern. Is it that there are going to be more terrorists coming from these nations into Nigeria to cause, like, to shake up Nigeria? That we don't know. But again, or is it that with Russia supporting Niger Republic and Burkina Faso and Mali, and America and France supporting Nigeria, there's going to be border conflict? That we don't know. Again, let's dive into the details to see exactly what is happening here. Stakeholders have described as disturbing the recent withdrawal of Mali, Niger Republic, and Burkina Faso from the Economic Community of West African States. Ecowas saying it raises serious concern about Nigeria's security. Okay, about Nigeria's security. The development comes amid alleged infiltration and inferences from Western powers, especially the United States of America, USA, and Russia, with a huge presence of Wagner brothers fighters in the region. So Daily Post reported that Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso on Sunday announced that they were withdrawing from ECOWAS due to what they called illegal and inhuman sanctions imposed on them following the coups in their countries. So the three countries also notified ECOWAS, the African Union AU, and the United Nations of their withdrawal from the regional economic bloc, citing concerns about ECOWAS' divergence from its founding principles and influence from foreign powers. So before now, the three countries were suspended from ECOWAS, with Niger and Mali facing heavy sanctions following the military takeover of power that took place in Mali 2020 and 2021, Burkina Faso 2022, and Niger Republic 2023. Military leaders of the three nations disclosed in a joint statement on Sunday that it was a sovereign decision to leave the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS without delay. So after 49 years of existence, the brave people of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger note with much regret, bitterness, and great disappointment that the organization has moved away from the ideals of its founding fathers and Pan-Africanism terrorist hordes. Furthermore, ECOWAS, under the influence of foreign powers, betrayed its founding principles and has become a threat to its member states and populations whose happiness is supposed to be ensured. So indeed, the organization has not provided assistance to our states in the context of our existential fight against terrorism and insecurity. Worse, when these states decide to take their destiny into their own hands. So it adopted an irrational and unacceptable posture by imposing illegal, illegitimate, inhumane, and irresponsible sanctions in violation of its text, all things which have further weakened populations already bruised by years of violence inflicted by instrumentalized and remote controlled part of the statement reads. They also accuse the regional body of failing to help them tackle the jihadists who swept into Mali in 2012 and then onto Burkina Faso and Niger. And that's exactly what is also happening in Nigeria. Jihadists have also infiltrated Nigeria. So Daily Post records that under pressure from the military regime, France had removed ambassadors and troops and watched Russia fill the void militarily and politically. So the French army's withdrawal from the Sahel, the region along the Sahara Desert across Africa, has also heightened concerns over the conflicts spreading southward to the Gulf of Guinea, states of Ghana, Togo, Benin Republic, and Ivory Coast. So Daily Post reports that Niger, for instance, known for its production of uranium, is a hub for military and humanitarian activities and a strategic partner in the fight against insurgency and terrorism in the Sahel. So the country's importance in the fight against terrorism has earned significant support from various development partners, such as the United States, which has praised Niger as a model of democracy. Many believe that military rule may disrupt ongoing peace initiatives and empower terrorist groups to regroup and expand their activities in the Sahel region. Okay, so however, some stakeholders believe Nigeria and the West African bloc will be the greatest losers in the latest impasse. Okay, also many have decried the inability of the authority of heads of state and government of the West African community led by Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to resolve the crisis, while others have exonerated him. Oh boy. So with what is happening now, um, you know, it means that those what do they call them, terrorists that were dispersed from Niger are probably going to have reason to regroup and then begin to fight, uh, fight again. So on his part, a former lawmaker and social critic, Senator Shehu Sani, described Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso exit from ECOWAS as a severe setback to West Africa, adding that the development signified the failure of diplomacy and dialogue. Sani stated that Nigeria has lost its African blood brothers because of Western conditional friends. Exactly. So the withdrawal of Mali, Niger, Republic, and Burkina Faso from ECOWAS is a serious setback for West Africa. We know, and that is why they're regretting it. So it signifies the failure of diplomacy and dialogue. We lost our African blood brothers because of our Western conditional friends. We sacrificed our hands to keep our wristwatches. Sani wrote on his X handle. Also speaking about the matter when he appeared on Arise Television's morning show on Monday, a former Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bolaji Akinyemi, stated that the ECOWAS has turned into a battlefield between Russia and the United States. So Akinyemi explained that the decision of the three countries is worrisome for ECOWAS. He said, "We have a crisis at hand, and I call it a crisis because in terms of landmass, that's about half of ECOWAS. We are not dealing with just a little hiccup on our hands." ECOWAS is being turned into a confrontational field between Russia and the US, and the fact that these statements came just after US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken left Nigeria is significant, and we should pay attention to it. Another issue is that Guinea has a military regime, but the country is not going along with these three, okay, whether in their alliance or kicking out the French. So they said they are leaving immediately. However, ECOWAS protocol says 1 year, and you carry out all your responsibilities during that 1 year. So with their decision to leave immediately, will you force them to stay or use the confusing situation to try to bring palliative into it? It won't work now. So Akiyemi further noted that Nigeria has a role to play and must call on Russia to stop its intervention in the West African bloc. Ooh, Nigeria to call on Russia to stop its intervention. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So with all of this put together, there is a very serious matter at hand, and ECOWAS need to sit up. So Nigeria and ECOWAS are also advised to prioritize re-governance by placing a premium on the welfare of the citizens and member states. Exactly. So the duo of Nigeria and ECOWAS are expected to discourage corruption and primitive accumulation of wealth. Those fanning the embers of military rule through mindless accusations, shenanigans, and unproductive opposition should be treated as enemies of Nigeria and the regional entity called ECOWAS. The only reason military coups took place in those countries is because of bad governance, and that is the reason those people are leaving, and they have stated it, that the purpose of the setting up ECOWAS has been defeated, and there's nothing they can do again. They can't continue to stay. Okay, how can they can't help their member nations to fight terrorism or to fight insecurity, and with the presidents trying to become lifetime presidents on seat, okay, and as moles in their countries, and with this kind of a one-term corruption that is happening across the countries, member states of the ECOWAS. It cannot continue to be. So the only way there will be peace and things will work fine is if they stop this wanton corruption, and then, pledge or begin to implement good governance that puts the welfare of the people first. That is exactly what we, turn things around for good. So that is exactly what is happening. Except that is corrected, there will continue to be problem in the ECOWAS membership. Okay, and the security concern will continue to be there, especially with France and Russia and America turning ECOWAS to battlefield. That is it. ECOWAS is going to be a battlefield. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.